Welcome to the rAVe Esports Show with me, your host, Bubba Gaeddert. Thank you so much for coming to the final episode of Season 2. Man, what an amazing run we've had. 2 full seasons with rAVe Pubs. It's been incredible, and we cannot forget to thank Extron, our sponsor. Thank you so much, Extron, for being supportive these past 2 years as we've done reviews of arenas. We've had interviews with amazing people, especially Extron experts from your organization. Thank you so much. And as you can tell, something's a little different about where I am today. If you watched last episode, we were at the College of Esports. That's right, where I get to teach in London as a lecturer and the head of events. And what's fun about this studio is it's virtual and there's multiple cameras. Today's going to be special. We're actually going to do some video game history and some esports history, and we're going to come into Bubba's classroom and we'll have one of my students answer some questions that I think you'll know. We'll see. He's off stage right now, and we'll see if he knows these answers. I think at home, if you're watching right now, please get ready to be in the chat and type some answers because we're going to ask some questions about video games and esports. So if you're ready, we're going to do a quiz and have some fun and talk a little about esports and video games. Plus, if you stick around, you might see a little behind the scenes of this amazing studio and what it really looks like when the cameras are off. So right now, we're going to bring Michael up onto the stage, the virtual set, and we're going to do a bit of an interview and then some classroom quiz type stuff. So if you're in the chat, please be ready. Okay, I'm here with one of our students here at the College of Esports, Michael Brecht. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited to do this recording with you. I'm doing well.
Man, we're going to enter into Bubba's classroom today and have a little fun with a bit of video game and esports history. I think you're pretty knowledgeable. You're pretty smart. You're kind of an older student as well. Are we like 30, 40?
Well, I'm pushing 30. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I've been told. But I know a little bit about video games. I've played them all my life, and I'm going to see how well I do on this quiz.
What was the first video game you ever played?
In my world, the first ever video game I played, I believe, was Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm the youngest sibling, so I had older siblings, so they had all the consoles. My dad loved the game, and I've played it ever since, I feel.
Okay. What game are you playing right now?
I don't really. Actually, I'm playing Megabonk on Steam. It's a wild game, but I do play a bit of League, and then I played some Repo with some friends last night. So
okay. Oh, is that what I hear you were screaming about in your apartments? Is what I've heard.
I just love it. I mean, I'm not actually afraid, but to scream really loudly as if I am afraid. I mean, it's great fun. I'm clip farming. That's what it is with the friends. Core memories I'm building with them.
Are you streaming it as well?
I did think about streaming it, but obviously when there's 9 people, it's a bit rough. You don't know what they're going to say. But I didn't stream that, but I did stream the NSC game that the League of Legends Legion team played.
That's
no, trust me. I've been doing it for years.
The Legion League of Legends team.
Uh-huh.
What is that? Can you, for the audience who, if you didn't watch last week with our tour of this amazing studio that we'll talk about here in a moment, and someone who actually helped build this studio this summer, can you tell us a little bit about what Legion is?
So Legion is the esports team at the College of Esports. Anybody can sign up. We have tryouts for them. They pick the best squad, and then you can compete with that. And it's fantastic. We compete in NSC and Newell, and it's every week. And it's just a bit of competition, and you could win some little bit of prize money. Okay. You know, it's good fun. And
this is against other universities throughout the UK?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's interesting because there's 2 large leagues here in the UK, Newell and NSE for the university level. Mm-hmm. And if you've seen over in the States, there's about 70 of them, all with their own acronym or initialism. Yeah. And so it's quite a bit of alphabet soup.
It really is a bit confusing when I look over at American stuff. I don't know what's going on. And it's interesting across the world how different it is, because I've even spoken to somebody from Korea, and it's like they're less interested in that kind of grassroots university league stuff and more at the high esports. So it's fun being in the UK, having that chance to just play in the grassroots leagues and have fun with your friends at the end of the day. It's a university team. I've made some great friends for it. Friends for life, I think.
That's amazing. Well, we're going to show the behind the scenes here in a moment of this studio. Can you talk a little bit about what happened this summer? Why was there a need to revamp the studio? You at home, you're seeing this virtual set. We're on a green screen that we'll show you in a minute. with some amazing tech. And all of you out there who are watching are most likely people in the AV industry who care about this sort of stuff. So what was the catalyst to go from where we were to where we are now?
First of all, Carl from Storm Broadcast, who built the studio, I helped him. The main thing was a bigger green screen. That's what set it off, and that was the kind of the first domino that fell. And then it was the bigger green screen, and then we're like, we've got to make the whole place look a lot nicer. I think it looks fantastic now, and it's all set up nicely. There's new roles as well. It's all fit into this space. It's incredible. I think that's why we wanted it. We wanted a bigger green screen, and then from there, it's like Carl's on constantly saying every week, it's like, oh, we need a little bit of this. It's never finished. There's always improvements coming out.
Yeah. So now we're going to go and we're going to take a behind-the-scenes look at this amazing studio you helped build. Through the magic of movies and broadcasts, we're going to clap, and it's going to fall away. 3, 2, 1, clap. Okay, here we are in the amazing studio you helped build. Jake is on the camera right now. Jake, thanks so much for recording. Thanks so much for doing all the tech today. You're amazing, brother. What's going on? Can you show us around maybe just a few minutes of what's happening, what you've got built?
My goodness.
The gallery?
Really quickly, this is an external company. I believe the official name is an Infinity Cove. It's all just MDF. It's painted over with green paint. I did the second coat. It's fantastic. We've got truss along the sides, beams. We got to light the green screen, of course, to make sure we look fantastic like we do. And then we've got PTZs either side for close-ups, and then we've got a nice big jib and a camera attached to it. I believe just the lens alone is like 30K and the camera's 11K. I've been told. Ooh. Yeah, I've been told, wow. Be careful with that one. And it's fantastic. So
show us around some of the stuff you helped build this summer on the walls, on the desk. We can go around if Jake will follow us.
I want to do, we'll just go left to right. Of course, we can't forget the caster booth right now. Not really fully set up, but we've got the headsets there. We can see what's going out live on the screens. Hopefully get green screen coming in soon. That would be awesome. This is a little, I guess that's behind the scenes to make sure we know what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Along here, this is going to be some setups. I believe we're going to move some setups to this station over here, VSet and some lights control. Really quick, vMix. If you know what you're doing, vMix is the
I'll go back and see on the stage. Let me stay on the stage so you can see.
We're going to see Bubba walk in right now. Look at that. Movie magic. Ooh, lovely. We've got giant screens. Acoustic panels across the wall. I drilled that in, filled that up. We got the director/producer, whatever they feel like being on the day. They've got a nice headset, so when we're doing a live stream, they can talk to the talent. Audio desk, my bread and butter. I love the audio desk. It can do 1,001 things, and I only know about 10 of that, and it's incredible. And the audio person can also talk to the talent as well. Over this way. This is where Jake behind the camera, this is his one man running 3 stations. We've got the VSet there, so we can control the whole environment that Bubba was just standing on. We've got replay up in between here. They normally have a little toy that's fantastic, so you can wind back, show replays if we're doing an esports show. And then over here is the graphics that can pop up on the machine, on the live stream. It's fantastic. We're coming towards you. Watch out. And then along here, this is normally where observers are. So they're the in-game cameraman. And all these desks I helped build. Bubba mentioned before.
Pretty sturdy? They are pretty sturdy.
Bubba mentioned, he'll mention I painted all this just to make sure it doesn't look like wood. We sanded it. Carl's fantastic. He came in with all his bits and tools and bits and bobs. We sawed it up, made it handmade, all the paneling as well. Another man came in and we did all the cabling. Felt like a long summer, but it was only about a month's work, and it's well worth it. It's incredible stuff. I enjoyed it, and I miss it.
So last thing, this was different last year. The past years, it was
completely
just a row of desks
and
some computers on a wall, and you guys made it look amazing.
Yeah, and what I always say is this kind of setup, we can run an esports broadcast just like the EWC, any sort of worlds. It's the same stations, similar kind of setup, and it's just knowing your stuff and doing a broadcast. It's fun.
All right, you ready to get into a quiz, and let's go have some fun back on the stage?
I'm ready to get all the questions right.
Okay, let's go. Thank you, Michael, for showing us around the amazing studio that you helped build this summer. It is amazing tech. I can see how much work you all put in, especially the hours of you painting with a tiny brush to make sure things weren't brown but black. So thank you so much for what you did this summer.
Happy to be that guy. Yep.
Are you ready to jump into the quiz?
I was born ready.
Okay. Jake, load up the cube. Let's get going. Here we go.
Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo.
All right. This is our video game and esport quiz. And I'm going to test your knowledge. You also at home, I want to see how much you know. Got my clicker. We're in class. If you know the answer to some of these questions, then please put them in the chat. Okay. What was the first video game? There's a lot of confusion here. Is it Pong, Oregon Trail, or Tennis for Two? Or, I'm sorry, some may say Oregon. It depends on if you're from that part of the country. What would you think the first video game ever was?
I've heard of two of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've heard of Pong, and I've heard of Oregon Trail. I've not heard of Tennis for Two.
Tennis for Two.
What
do you think? What do you think at home? What do you think the answer is? In the chat, what would be your answer? A lot of people are going to say Pong. Okay, so I think the people in the chat have spoken maybe. What do you think your answer is for this?
This is where I trust you. I feel like you maybe got a bait and switch, but I will be going with Pong.
Pong. Okay, well, the answer, Pong was 1972. Oregon Trail was 1971, and the answer is 1958 with Tennis for Two. Tennis for Two was actually
incredible, the
inspiration for Pong. And we're going to cover Pong and Tennis for Two later as we go through the history of video games from way, way back before I was born. And we're going to cover that. Now, in your definition, what is esports?
What is esports? I think you just boil it down to the competitive play of video games. Honestly, it's simple as you're just competing, but maybe prize, maybe just honor points, but it's that competition in video games.
Okay. You know, a lot of people are confused thinking, oh, it's electronic sports, or a lot of times people will say, oh, Bubba, you do EA Sports? Yeah, I get that quite often.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe it's just an American thing. I don't know. There is also a part of esports where if you're in it, you may also not know exactly how to write it correctly. So when we ask, how do you write esports correctly? A lot of people have different ways. Now, I will tell you, sometimes if people write it a certain way, they may not be taken seriously. They may even be shunned by us in the industry in our small little bubble. But what are some ways you've seen esports spelled or written incorrectly?
Incorrect. I'm one of those where I'm like, as long as you're spelling esports right, I don't care.
What do you mean by right, Michael?
Just go E and then sports. You're done.
Oh, okay.
I know incorrectly. Some people say you've got to have a capital E, you've got lowercase e, capital S, all that sorts. I'm just like, esports is esports.
Let's look here. We've got capital S, lowercase e. Oh, it's a no-no. E dash capital S sports. Oh gosh, capital E capital S with a dash. Oh no. So when you write it out, it looks like the esports group. If you write it sometimes incorrectly like that, with lowercase, even without dashes, you could also have no dash and it be esports, or basically you're yelling esports and E dash lowercase sports.
Yeah,
or
every variant.
This is the worst. If you are a boomer. Okay, let me start over. Boomers, please don't call it e-gaming. It is not e-gaming, okay? I zoom in close. Come on, zoom in close here. Don't call it e-gaming, whatever you do. World Esports League. See, you wouldn't write it like that. You wouldn't write lowercase because that lowercase doesn't work in a title, like when you normally have writing an organization. So the correct way that we ask you to write it is at the beginning of a sentence with capital E, or in a sentence with a lowercase e. However, if you're writing something like a title, the Video Games and Esports Foundation, as you see here, the charity that I get to run, or the College of Esports. We don't say the College of E-Sports or the College of lowercase esports.
It's already a mouthful. We don't.
It is a mouthful.
We need to complicate it.
So that's important. When I think about what the difference is between gaming esports and stuff that you do, streaming,
Hmm.
how would you define the difference? And those who are here in the chat, between gaming and esports, what do you think?
I think gaming is more simply just that's the pleasure. Maybe it's a hobby. You're just playing gaming to, maybe a bit of escapism. That's kind of all gaming is. And then esports is where you're coming in and you're like, my main goal is to win. Like, I want to win. I'm competing against others. That's the main difference between esports and gaming, in my opinion. Because gaming could just be, you're playing Candy Crush on your phone. You're playing a solo game. That's gaming. And then as soon as you get into that competitive mindset, then you're starting to tap into esports.
Yeah. So then streaming, if that's different from gaming and esports, how does streaming fit in there?
How does streaming fit in that? I mean, you could be gaming while you stream. You could be playing esports while you're streaming, and it's just a way to just broadcast what you're doing and having fun and getting some engagement and drawing people more into this world. And come play games with me. Come watch me play games. Come watch me commentate over esports. It's just a natural way of doing it, because online gaming, surely then you've got an online stream. It just fits hand in hand. It comes naturally.
To be different from what sometimes we say, oh, that's gaming, which can be confused with gambling, right? So we get that sometimes where it's, oh, you're in gaming, or I've gotten like invites to gaming conferences, and I look through and it's all about gambling. Like, okay, well, we have gambling, but that kind of gaming can be confused. They're so vernacular, and especially a similar language separated by the Atlantic Ocean. I am constantly in a mode of, how do we say that here? So they're vernacular. But I guess here in Bubba's classroom, we have a chart for that. So we have a chart: esports, gaming, and streaming. There is a difference. You can see what the purpose is and why it matters and why it's different. Okay, great. You're doing well.
You're doing well. First question wrong, but
I mean,
the conversation
everybody
is going well.
Everybody gets that question wrong.
Yep.
How many gamers are in the world, would you say?
Now that's tricky, because I feel like you can't track that. You can't know for sure. There could be some random person. They're technically a gamer. All they do is play on their phone. So I think that's gaming. That's why it's quite tricky. My immediate thought, I don't get a multiple choice question here, so I'm just gonna throw out a number. It was like 5 billion. That was my
5 billion.
That was my guess.
How many people are in the world?
It's getting up to 8, isn't it?
Yeah, it's over 8. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Because I feel like what constitutes as a gamer. If I've played like a few games like once a week, I just need to de-stress. If I'm playing Sudoku on my phone, is that gaming? What is a gamer?
Okay, I like that, because you went higher than the number that's the data, which is good, because you're Gen Z.
I'm in 1999. So what is that?
Gen Z.
Gen Z. That's me.
Okay, so you're in the generation that's definitely in the world tech, growing up with the world tech. And the idea of saying there's a lot of people playing games, I would say maybe the numbers we have are low. So you could be actually more accurate, and maybe we're not getting it. But when I look at the numbers, yes, 3.4 billion gamers in the world. But that mobile part of it that we'll look at later is pretty big, which means people are playing Candy Crush and they're doing stuff on their phone. Yeah. So this is a number for 2024. This will continue to increase. But yeah, there's more than almost, I guess, almost close to half the world. Yeah. But maybe by your standard,
I think it's up there. I think it's more than half. I think there's some closet gamers that don't want to come out and say that they're gamers in these studies. But I think there's a lot more than just 3.4.
Okay, so we're looking at the world of 3.4 billion gamers, but in the United States, there's actually 205 million gamers with a population of about 370, 80 million in the United States. And then when I look at the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is a really, really impactful and powerful place right now in gaming and esports, there's 23.5 million gamers in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. That's 67% of the population, because they are actually a young nation. Yeah. I think the average age is like 28 or 7 in that country. And so that means there's a lot of young gamers, and why the College of Esports is actually working actively in that country right now.
I do believe also in that area is a lot more mobile gaming, like we talked about before. I believe that's another point about that.
Very much true. It's access. It's access to high-power PCs and consoles. And so the ability for them to get on mobile is easier. especially in places like India, which I think I have a slide later that talks a bit about India's size as well. In the UK here, 37.7 million gamers in the UK. That's pretty wild.
We need to rise that up.
Okay, we need to rise
those numbers up.
I don't know what the population here is off the top of my head. It's a lot more than that.
I know, but I think it's in London. That's about
it. I think that's a pretty high number because I believe it's 50 to 60 million or something. I honestly don't know. It's not my slides today. It's on my normal slide.
Check in chat.
Yeah, the chat. Let
us know.
Now, what is the average age of a gamer? You would say you may have a different answer than people in the chat right now. You're probably thinking younger, but what would you probably think an average age of a gamer?
I feel like when we see, I'm already in the questions of like the courses I've done and the question they've asked, like, oh, this demographic, and I'm already like thinking on that. It's hard not to be biased at my age. I'm like, I'm a gamer. Surely everybody my age is a gamer, you know. But I think I'll bump it up to maybe around like 32, somewhere around there. Pretty definitely good. Like up there because we're just because I do esports. I've done the esport course at college, so that's kind of the demographic that people always want to tap into. So I'm going to go up because we're talking about gamers, and I've looking at a lens of esports. So I've pushed the number up.
Well, in the US, it's 36. Okay. In Europe, it's 31.
I'm getting better.
Okay. And out of those, how many do you think, what's the percentage of split between male and female gamers across the globe, or maybe US or Western culture?
I still want to say it's quite male dominant. I feel like that's that kind of, a lot of video games are kind of a bit bloody and gory, you know, like you look at CSGO, that's kind of all just shooting and that kind of thing. Maybe, I'm not going to say girls don't like it, but it's more male-oriented, a lot of games, but I feel like it's closer than people think. I really want to have some faith.
Throw out your numbers.
I'm just going to throw out like 56% male.
Okay.
I could be completely
not bad. It's 52. 48 male. This is a bit of an old number, but it's about the same across the globe. Here in Europe, it's actually 43.5%. So very similar. And not only is it male to female ratio surprising when most people think, oh, it's like 80% 12-year-old boys playing video games. That's the typical stigma, but old people, seniors are also playing games. So when you look at the seniors that are actively playing, so this is Michelle, she is in the middle there playing with a kid who's like 8, who's an amazing Call of Duty player.
Awesome.
And this team right here actually is like a pro Valorant or Overwatch senior team. And it's gaming is really for everybody, and not only for age and genders, but also for those with different abilities. So gaming is for everyone.
I was going to mention that it's kind of it can be that fine motor skills. It can make them learn. I do the coaching and management course, and I've kind of learned a lot of that. Like it can help build up that fine motor skills and keep you going once you get older as well. And then it's for everyone.
Xbox makes these adaptive controllers, as well as a couple new ones that are out there. And by the way, if you need the links to any of this stuff, they'll be in the chat as well with the big full guide from the Video Games and Esports Foundation, and all the links are at the bottom as references because it's important to reference.
Yes, it is indeed.
Now, what was Nintendo known for before Mario?
Known for?
Okay, I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some multiple choice options.
I wanna. You know, I don't even want you to give it, but I believe it was a trading card
company. Okay. That's
my bet. But
well, let me give you some options. So those in the chat here, you can answer as well with A, B, C, D, E, F. We've got handmade playing cards, which you mentioned. How about the Japanese Mafia? Just throwing this out.
I'd love
the first Disney playing cards. Any ideas? I'm throwing just random stuff out.
Okay.
Instant noodles, vacuum cleaners, or as they call Hoovers here. Baseball launching machine. And we also have a electronic relationship tester with sensors. Now, that's a real thing, but it wasn't Nintendo is what I'm really getting at. Are any of these things that Nintendo might have been known for? These are real things, but was Nintendo known for them?
That's where it's tricky because you're like, I think a lot of people will associate Nintendo with that kind of electronics. You know, they build consoles and that sort of thing. But I'm going to stick with my guns and go for the playing cards.
Well, in the chat, please put A, B, C, D, E, or F, or maybe it's multiple. I don't know.
It could be all of them.
It is all of them, actually. It actually is all of them.
What?
So the Japanese Mafia used those handmade playing cards to do Hanfuda. in Japan, and it got so popular that Nintendo, Mr. Nintendo, we'll just say that, created these cards back in 1880s, and they were being used so much, but they were also being used in bars and pubs and places where the Japanese mafia hung out, and it became pretty risque to be playing with these cards. That's one thing, but also yes, the baseball machine, the cards for Disney, baseball launching machine, and electronic tester. So yeah, you've got right here the electronic tester. It's a love tester. You would hold your partner would hold it, and it's like, are we in love or not?
As well, they do
well,
or it's Futurama. I think
Futurama. Okay,
that's the
say,
one. Yeah,
did Simpsons proactively, reactively say something to prove the future?
Yeah.
Disney playing cards, and there's the baseball launching machine. So, okay, moving on from that. What was the first video game console? I'm going to give you some options here. We've got the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES. We've got the Sega Master System, not to be confused with the Sega Genesis. The Intellivision, Magnavox Odyssey, the Atari Home Pong, or the Game Boy. Which was the first home video game console? Video game home console. What do you think?
What am I thinking? Right now, I think my friend who actually owns like so many of these old consoles, he would know it. He's probably annoyed at me if he knew that I was taking this quiz. Because I don't want to say NES. I feel like that's too soon. I don't want to say Sega. I don't know what Intellivision is, nor what Megavox Odyssey is. I want to say Atari Home Pong, just because like that question before, and surely it can't be the Game Boy.
Well,
I want to just throw out a random.
The Intellivision was the answer.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be the one I didn't know.
Intellivision. It was really interesting. So this device, you held those two dials and you turned to operate, but there was these plastic sheets that you put on old school TVs, and you'd stick them to a TV, as you can see on your side. You'd stick them to the TV, and you would move this white dot around with these dials.
I see.
You know, since we're talking about history of video games, let's dive a little more. If we look back, actually way before video games, there was times in 3000 BCE, before Common Era, where we were doing games with bones and rocks to play dice.
Yeah.
And then chess was 500 CE. It started in China, I believe, or in Asia. Yeah. And it moved around, but it was also different chess pieces. But then when we got to the 1930s in the United States, we had Bagaletta and we had pinball. But it wasn't the pinball we see now and with big machines. It was these, wind up, pull it out, and then it didn't have bumpers, really anything until later. But this interesting image on the left here that's by you is actually Mayor LaGuardia from New York. There was so much of this pinball tomfoolery, as they might call it in the States, or shenanigans that happened. Once again, it sounds like Nintendo with these cards. LaGuardia, he thought it was so bad that it was penny thievery, that they were doing this in bars and they were debauchery, and they were playing these pinball machines, that he would take all these pinball machines, and it took a sledgehammer in this image you see bashing away at pinballs in like 1932.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting because we think about games and the stigmas now. Has it really changed?
It's not unavoidable. I mean, you could talk about when people started reading a lot of books, the same kind of stigmas. There's always going to be somebody negative about just a bit of fun, a hobby that they have, something they enjoy.
Yeah.
There's always going to be the haters.
For sure. Well, interesting you say haters, because I think about maybe an hour, 2-hour train from here in Bletchley Park was where in the 40s, Alan Turing helped create Christopher, the Enigma machine. They broke the Enigma code during the war to help defeat the Nazis, which is interesting. If you haven't watched Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch, it's pretty amazing.
It's a fantastic movie. Yeah.
So the dawn of computers really happened in the 1940s. His programs were so new that a computer to actually run some of his programs didn't get invented till the early 50s. As he was creating stuff. That's an oscilloscope there on the bottom right as well, which kind of plays into the Tennis for Two that we're going to talk about here in a moment.
Ooh.
And as we go into the 50s, we also have other machines, like this is noughts and crosses, as you say here, or X's and O's. We stay in the States.
Yeah.
Interesting, this one on the bottom right is actually kind of a war simulation. And this up here, this was an auto test where it would be a machine you sit in, just like any driving game now we have in the arcades. but it was a movie that played, and you would move just a metal car back and forth, like a real metal car, and you would learn how to drive.
Oh,
It was kind of it wasn't really considered a video game. It was more of a digital movie. We have a lot of labels. And then that brings us to 1958 with Tennis for Two, which was that inspiration for Pong. And so you see the oscilloscope here being done. And we're going to move through these quickly because, interesting enough, this is history that's out there, but honestly not talked about a lot. So it's just kind of to keep you engaged. And because in the 1960s, we had Ralph Baer's Brown Box, which was before the Intellivision, before the Atari, but it was another inspiration for the Atari.
Okay.
And you'll see over on your side is Space War, which that'll come back to play later with Esports.
That's what I thought was going to be the first video game, but it wasn't up there.
Okay.
I knew about that one.
Yeah, this was some folks at MIT who created this game.
Yes.
And then 1972, we had Pong, Noah Bushnell and team. They used a bunch of machines. Well, this warehouse down here, they had a bunch of machines they needed to start sending because they became so popular. Because in California, they put one machine into a bar in some town in California.
Yeah.
Noah came back a month later and said, hey, your machine's not working. Like, oh no, it's because there's too many quarters inside the machine.
No way.
It blocked it up. So they started selling millions and millions worth of machines.
That's
and
awesome.
Pong became big. And that's why people know it as kind of like the first video game.
It's like the first big one. Yeah,
exactly.
the first accessible one as well. I see.
And as we move past that, about that arcade world, what do you think the first video game cartridges was, and where do you think it came from? Where did the cartridge idea even come from? Do you have any idea? Why did we start using?
Is it ever like off the back of the floppy disk, or am I thinking too far ahead there?
I actually don't know what came first.
Yeah,
the floppy disk probably came first before the cartridge. Yeah. Well, you have here the Super NES, Atari cartridge, and then this is NES, Super Mario 3. Interesting enough, there was cartridges before that, and this was because Jerry Lawson in the United States, he worked for this company, and they created the Channel F gaming system. And what was happening before cartridges was you were pulling up motherboards and replacing with another motherboard, or you were clicking a little dial to change the game.
Yeah.
And so now buy a bunch of cartridges and put a new cartridge in.
Put it in, and
which is different from now. We like buy a license. It's very interesting. So Jerry Lawson, black engineer in the United States.
I've heard that name.
Yeah.
Something.
So yep. We have there because there's a day to honor him. I didn't remember which year it is. But video game consoles went from the Atari with Space Invaders, the Intellivision, the Magnavox Odyssey, and the Colloquial Vision, which I don't know how to say that right. What was the worst video game ever made, though?
The worst video game ever made? Is that like just my opinion? Or is that just...
It's the world's opinion, Michael.
Is there a world's opinion? I
wasn't Red Dead, wasn't Oregon Trail.
Is that my choice?
No.
Oh,
just
I
little.
don't think those
I like... That's a very common meme, right? Failed.
Really?
When you Red Dead. But Oregon Trail here, it says you died of dysentery.
Yeah.
So Oregon Trail, I don't think I've ever really actually beaten a game without cheating in Oregon Trail. Worst video game?
Worst video game? That's very subjective. I feel like it's
E.T.
E.T.
1983. It destroyed the video game industry. And Atari, it was so bad they rushed to get this game through for Christmas that they rushed it through. It was horrible gameplay. It was so bad they dumped all the copies they had into an Arizona dump. And they just run Earth a few years ago. So it is the worst video game. But in 1985, someone saved the video game industry. Who saved the video game industry? What do you think in the chat in 1985? What do you think? Who saved the video game?
Who saved it? I hope it's that red plumber.
Yep.
I hope it's
right. Mario saved the video game industry. Right there, here. This is Jumpman. This is Jumpman. He is who was the character in Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And they took these arcade machines for a different game and reskinned them to do Donkey Kong, and they had Jumpman. But then in 1985, actually it was a process, 83 to 85, the Famicom, the family computer in Japan, was made with Mario, and they started using Mario. Then it became even more popular. And do you know where the name Mario might come from? Why do we name him Mario? Italian plumber.
Sure. Is it something he says? Is it no?
Well, a lot of people think it's a me Mario, but it's saying
it's something in Japanese. No,
that is Japanese.
Yeah,
it's a me is not it's me. Like I'm Italian, It's actually Japanese, but that's not actually where it comes from.
Oh,
Mario actually comes from the U.S. base of Nintendo in America. Had a landlord named Mario Segal, and he would come in and go, "Where's my rent?"
Yeah.
And they started Jumpman, and they named him Mario later.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Let's jump into esports and finish up. Esports. What was the first esports event? I think you kind of mentioned it earlier.
Did I? I
won the first video game.
The first, is it like a Pong tournament?
No. Space War, Intergalactic Space War, 1972. The prize was this Rolling Stone magazine subscription.
Oh.
That was the prize, 1972. So our first esports, we didn't call it esports then, which we'll get into later.
Okay.
1980, we had a Space Invaders tournament. Rebecca Heinemann won that competition back in 1980. It was in New York. Hundreds of computers, or Ataris, actually lined up to compete in the Space Invaders tournament. In the 90s, we had things like the Nintendo World Championships. We had Blockbuster Championships that we'll show here in a second. This one's real fun because this Neo Geo car is actually one of the prizes for this championship, and that gold Mario. And if you competed, you got these gold cartridges.
That's
for
pretty cool.
The Nintendo Championship. Because later, we got Blockbuster in the 90s. We've got Evo that happened. DreamHack started in 1994. Esports events started kicking up, but really we weren't calling it esports by then. But something also interesting happened for gamers in the 90s. Why do we use these keys as gamers? Do you have any idea why we use these?
Why do we use? We got.
Well, you obviously know right now why you use it.
But who was like the first?
What did we use before?
Carved the path. What did we use before? I feel like it was something weird. I feel like it was probably the Z and the X keys at the bottom and the C keys.
So we used to use a mouse, like in games like Quake or competitive Unreal tournaments. We would use the arrow keys and the mouse.
It's the arrow keys and the mouse.
Now, someone named Thresh, back in 1997, he bound his up, down, left, right arrow keys to WASD.
Just felt more comfortable. That makes sense.
Yeah, more comfortable. He also won a Ferrari.
Just as you do.
Yeah, he also won a Ferrari there for that competition. Now, we talked about how this isn't esports, but it is, but it's just not that word. Who coined the term esports?
Who? I feel like it's got to be.
And what year?
What year? Oh, I was not ready for that part. That's not on there. That's not on the slide. I'm going to say over in Korea, it's got to be there, like the history of esports is over there. They've been doing it for years. And I mean, like, StarCraft is still an esport now. And
you did it.
Constantly
got it.
Popular, yeah.
South Korea, 1999, 2000, the term was coined, Esports Association, the Korea Esports Association. They did it with a dash.
Ooh, how's it? Yeah. Wait a second.
Now, when was the first Esports Olympics, though?
Esport Olympics? I didn't even know there was one. I'm not going to lie. I must confess.
Some people are saying, oh, well, there's Esports Olympics happening soon, but maybe not. But there was one before.
Really?
Well,
I didn't know that.
2001, we might have said it was marketed as the Esports Olympics, the first Esports Olympics. It was the World Cyber Games. Big event in South Korea.
Of course.
And it was seen as that first thing. But in the 2000s, we started getting into esport competitions with MLG, Intel Masters. We had other events going on in different leagues.
Yeah.
And then after that Olympic kind of push, didn't really die out, but it kind of shifted to Asian Games from 2007 to 2019.
I know a lot of the Asia Games.
And those could come back, but a lot of games. StarCraft, you had NBA 2K type games, Hearthstone, FIFA, Need for Speed is over there by you. The Asian Games were a pretty big deal. Okay, now here is the one I left in for you. What global event is happening?
Ooh, what global event? I'm loving it. It's the League of Legends Worlds Finals this weekend as of recording. I don't know if I should say that or you cut that out, but as of recording, it's this Saturday or Sunday. I can't wait. I've been watching it since like 2015, 2016, and I'm a big fan.
That's right. Started back in 2011 Worlds. There is the 2019 setup. This is last year here in London with Faker and his team who won as well, T1. The Worlds competition is huge. And you as a League of Legends caster, a League of Legends player, a fan.
Just a big fan, yeah.
When the Worlds was happening last autumn here in London, how did you feel about that?
Honestly, a stroke of luck that I actually got tickets to go watch it live, and it was surreal. I mean, I took so many photos, so many videos to actually get a chance to watch, and it's like I've watched a few of the events, like they did MSI over here, and it's just I've lost for words. It was so much fun. Like I was spending time with a friend as well, who's just that everybody's there to watch. They are the biggest fans of this esport. They've come to watch it and have that whole arena just filled with those like-minded people. It's just an incredible experience.
Well, that's a big event that's happening constantly. International with Dota 2 is happening. Some of the biggest prize pools before the Esports World Cup. Do you know where the game Dota 2, who actually created Dota 2?
I don't know.
How it started.
How they got started, I believe it was Warcraft 3.
Very good.
They converted it, which was like Blizzard, and then they came off with Dota 2.
Right,
and
they
that's how
modded
it works.
it.
Yeah,
that's right. They modded it. We've had a bit of an esports gold rush here from 2017 to 2021, especially during COVID. We've got people like Rick Fox over there by you, former NBA player. Games. Down the bottom, we've got high school esports league championships in the United States, big events. This show right here on, I think it's on Prime or Apple or something, it's called Players. It's a very funny spoof of League of Legends.
I have heard of it. I'm hesitant to watch it because I don't know if it's going to be a bit.
The main character has main character energy. He is hilariously silly. So the gold rush has been happening, and so we've had a bit of this gold rush. You'll see here in a few slides what's happened from 2022 to now, and we'll talk about that.
Awesome.
But also another big event happened, the Commonwealth Games, were a big event with teams from all over the globe, Global Esports Championships. We did have another version of the Olympics in 2021, and then this was with the International Olympic Committee, but the games they did were sailing, rowing, taekwondo.
Right.
We in the industry battle with that. Is that esports or not? But we're also so used to the top games being esports, but we don't sometimes say, well, Mario speedrunning is an esports.
I mean, I love the games done quick. That's one of those. That's. I feel like that's esport. You're kind of competing against others. You know, it's just a different metric rather than winning the game. You're giving the fastest time.
I mean, if you're in the chat right now and you think something like Mario speedrun is an esport, prove me wrong.
No,
or it's not wrong.
Just agree. Yeah.
Now, we talked about 2021 being that esports gold rush. In 2022, we started what we call a correction, or some may call it a winter. We had a winter. We had David Beckham selling out a guild, or selling his shares were a lot less than he paid into it. This is Matt from 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
And still very popular, still very active. But a lot of these esports orgs, they live through their merchandise right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have big game companies in the gaming industry. We have a lot of 5-year cycles of ebbs and flows of hiring and layoffs. And this is the world of this emerging tech. So have you studied anything about this esports? Nathan or Sam, we were talking about esports winter.
Not necessarily in my class. I mean, I imagine people are probably studying it now if they're doing like the esport courses. It wasn't, I feel like it's not something I really mentioned or thought about. And I know, like, it's sad to watch the fact somebody like, is it Nate Shot? He was like, he competed on Optic, I believe. He like then made his own esport org. It was fantastic. I'm a little bit biased because they started off in League, and I think having that is such a fantastic option, and it's kind of sad to see them kind of drop out of other esport tournaments because it's not that sustainable.
So this is a correction for us. We see it as a correction. A lot of VC money came in during the big COVID time when Zoom shares went up because we're all on Zoom.
Exactly.
Toilet paper prices went up, way up because we were all at home using toilet paper.
Even
Netflix made a lot of money. That's the big boom we had. But now we're in this correction where esports needs something. Quite a bit of money being funneled in right now. We'll talk about here in a few slides. But we had the Esports Olympics as well in 2023. One more time. They did the only kind of games that we thought might have been really that game that we like for esports. They did Fortnite, but it was a run, jump, shoot a target, run, jump, shoot a target. Like an athlon type thing. They had some Rocket League, which was great, and they had some like Street Fighter exhibitions. Okay. So getting closer. And we all kind of thought, hey, this is going to be a new thing. We'll have Olympics. But over the past few years, we've had some events in Saudi Arabia. Do you know what name of the event taking place in the same location as the Esports World Cup was before the Esports World Cup?
No, I don't know what that.
If you know in the chat,
it came out of nowhere for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It did come out of nowhere.
World Cup. Yeah.
Surprisingly, before that, it was called Gamers 8. For 2 years, there was big prize pools of 45 million, but it wasn't as hyped as this Esports World Cup yet.
Yeah.
That same organization then created the Esports World Cup.
Yeah.
And if you want to learn and see more about the Esports Cup, I went there in August, and a few episodes ago, I show you all the AV and all the amazing stuff that happened at the Esports World Cup in Saudi Arabia. A $70 million prize.
It's crazy, yeah.
Now here's our last few slides. When we're talking about the things in Saudi Arabia, what happened this last weekend in the news?
I heard a little bit about it. I'm a little bit out of the loop, but I know there's some difficulty with the actual like Olympics coming in with our esport Olympic. They're kind of coming in, but I know there's. I don't know if I'm going to spoil it. There's some kind of hope with the National League instead.
Well, I would call it canceled, but it's probably delayed again, or they've parted ways. So the Esports World Cup Foundation and the International Olympic Committee have been working for a few years.
Yeah.
And actually, the Esports World Cup Foundation created the Nations Cup, which we all thought was kind of a way to help get nations to have teams for their own nation to compete next fall in 2026, and then the Olympics in 2027. But right now, they're separated. There could be lots of reasons for that. We'll let the journalists who know what they're talking about.
We won't speculate.
Yeah. I don't know enough answers, and I'm being asked, and I say, we'll wait till the people who do research figure that out.
Exactly.
Now, our last slide here. What did you learn today? What is something new you learned today, Michael?
What is it? The history of the gaming, honestly. It's fantastic hearing some of the stories that you told me. Can't off the dome right now, but I'll tell you what, later on, if you ask me, I'll try and remember. But it's fantastic to hear. I feel like there's a lot of stuff I didn't know about, like going through the generations of it all. Like, honestly, it's come so far, and it's lovely to be a part of. Like I said back when I said I watched the esport, the Worlds in London. It's being in that room with like-minded people, all the love for gaming and the love for esports, and just love being a part of it.
We have such a good perspective, and I really appreciate what you've done today to come and hang out in Bubba's classroom.
I'd love to
get a little bit of quiz. In the camera here, any last words anything you want to talk about, or maybe if you have social media or you have a CV that you would like to share because you want to get hired somewhere, in the camera, please tell them about yourself and why you're hireable.
I mean, I feel like I'm just a guy. I love being on camera. That's about it. I enjoy esports. I love casting League of Legends. I mean, I'm just a guy.
I'm just a guy.
That's all I can say.
Okay, well, thank you so much for watching today on the rAVe Esports Show. I've been Bubba. This has been Michael. Thank you so much for coming today. Maybe we'll see you for Season 3, and if not, go back and watch all of Season 1 and 2 for the rAVe Esports Show. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. Thanks, Extron. It's amazing. Extron, right here, sponsor. Boom, in post. Thank you so much for all your support. Ray Pubs, Gary K, Kelsey, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. See ya.